Good morning. Welcome to today's Anzac Day Assembly. I'd like to invite Catherine Noah with the formal acknowledgements.
I'd like to acknowledge original custodians of this land, the Drumble people, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and future, for they hold the memories, the tradition, the culture and hopes of Indigenous Australians. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite up Mr. Avery with a speech.
Anzac stood and still stands for reckless valour in a good cause, for enterprise, resourcefulness, fidelity, comradeship, and endurance that will never own defeat. These are the words of C.E.W. Bean, the official Australian war historian. On Saturday, the 25th, we mark one of the most significant events in the collective Australian memory. We will commemorate the 100-year anniversary of the landing of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps at Gallipoli. We will commemorate those young men and women who gave their lives in the service of their country. We will remember them. This year is also particularly significant for the Girls Grammar family and our own ties to the Anzac legacy. For the first time in nearly a century, we can acknowledge and remember the old girls and boys from our own school community who served in the First World War. The Heritage Committee, assisting me in the construction of the school museum, have been researching our war heritage in preparation for an exhibition entitled Innocence and War, to be opened next week on Foundation Day. In their search, they have uncovered a list of individuals who attended the school, and in particular the kindergarten, in the late 19th and early 20th century. Today, I would like to tell you a little about our family's contribution to the First World War. Helen Lawson was a student here from 1896. Lawson became a trained nurse and worked at the Hillcrest Hospital from 1908. She became a registered midwife and general nurse at Hillcrest Hospital in 1912. In 1915, she served at the 15th Army General Hospital at Enoggera, before becoming one of only 274 Australian nurses sent to Salonika, where she nursed in the 2nd Australian Army Hospital. Helen served in France and England and was discharged from the Australian Army Nurses Service on the 12th of May, 1919. Louisa Sarah Parnell, a daughter of a prominent Rockhampton businessman, counsellor, and Girls Grammar board member, Arthur Parnell, had attended Girls Grammar from 1896 as a 14-year-old until 1897. After concluding her education, she trained as a nurse and registered as a midwife in December of 1912. She served as a member of the Australian Army Nursing Service in Egypt, in England and France, before being welcomed home to Rockhampton in January of 1919. Peter Stewart attended Girls Grammar Kindergarten from February of 1899 until December of 1902. As a 20-year-old jackaroo, he enlisted in the 9th Battalion C Company in September of 1914. Private Stewart embarked from Brisbane on the 24th of September 1914 for Gallipoli, where he was wounded on the 25th of April. He was wounded in the landing at Gallipoli. He was sent to Alexandria in Egypt and then transferred on to Malta in May while he was recovering. He rejoined his company in June, and at which time he sent a letter home to his family, greatly downplaying the conditions in which they worked and his own condition after being wounded. Stewart proved himself to be a reliable soldier who demonstrated initiative and was rewarded with promotions from private to corporal in December 1915, from corporal to second lieutenant, and transferred then to the 49th Battalion in March 1916, and again to lieutenant in July 1916. Lieutenant Stewart was killed in action, aged 22, at Moquet Farm, Pozières, in France, on the 4th of September 1916. Geoffrey Broome, enrolled as a 5-year-old in the girls' grammar kindergarten on the 4th of August 1901, before completing his education at Rockhampton Grammar School. Broome took up an electrical apprenticeship and served in the cadets and the citizen military force. He enlisted as a private in the 15th Battalion, B Company, in September of 1914, before embarking from Melbourne in December. Broome was tragically killed in action on the 18th of May 1915 at Quinn's Post at Gallipoli, aged 18. There is no known grave for Geoffrey Broome, but in a letter from his commanding officer, Sergeant Major Fraser, to his parents, he reassured them that their son had been very brave, and I quote, "He has a little grave with a wooden cross over it in a small cemetery over behind Quinn's Post." This grave was never found after the war concluded. He posthumously received the 1914 to 1915 Star, the British War Medal, and the Victory Medal. Douglas Wallace Rutherford attended the girls' grammar kindergarten in 1898. He enlisted in December 1914 and was given the rank of lieutenant in the 5th Light Horse Regiment, 2nd Reinforcement. He was given the rank of lieutenant and embarked in December. On the 25th of May 1915, his unit was sent to Gallipoli, Anzac Cove. On the 28th of June, he was wounded with a shrapnel wound in his right thigh. He was admitted to the 21st General Hospital in Alexandria, then transferred to the No. 3 London General Hospital in England to recover. Upon his return to work in Alexandria, he was seconded to the Australian Flying Corps in August of 1916, having been released from duty with the 5th Light Horse Regiment. He was promoted to captain and graded as a flying officer and posted to the 5th Wing of the 67th Squadron. Significantly, he was involved in a crash landing in Palestine that resulted in his rescue by a fellow pilot who received the prestigious Victoria Cross Medal for his valor. Rutherford was later captured by Turkish soldiers and served the rest of the war as one of 217 Australian prisoners of war captured by the Turks. He was released in 1919 and returned to Australia. These stories and more will be made available in the Patterson Hall Heritage Museum from Foundation Day next week. I now invite you to stand so that we may acknowledge all of the girls' grammar community who served in the First World War. Charles Blair, John Blair, John Bromley, Geoffrey Broome, Cedric Curtis, Clive Evans, Lionel Fairweather, Horace Graham, Kenneth Henderson, Helen Lawson, Edward Ogg, Louisa Parnell, Herbert Patterson, Nellie Reed, Clive Rudd, Frank Rudd, William Rudd, Douglas Rutherford, Peter Stewart, Paul Voss, Kerrod Voss, Kelsey Williams, lest we forget.
We shall not grow old, as those who are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemned. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.